Hello students, welcome. Let's begin today's class. So we are reading third level where Charlie compares the Grand Central Station like a tree because as the tree pushes out new roots and leaves, similarly this Grand Central Station pushes out new staircases, new doorways and many more things. Moreover, Charlie also believes that there is a third level which can take him to the past. Okay, ultimately one day he was getting late for his to get to his wife, and he was in a hurry, so he decided to go by train. And when he came there, he just entered into a very strange corridor, and from there he reached the third level. He is noticing all the things. He saw that the ticket windows were smaller and the information booth was made of wood, and the lights were of gas lights and they were flickering. The next one, there were brass spittoons on the floor, and across the station a glint, a shine of light caught my eye. A man was pulling a gold watch from his vest pocket. He snapped open the cover, glanced at his watch, and frowned. Frown is a facial expression. Snapped open the cover. You must have seen these kind of watches. They are not worn on wrists, they are kept in some pockets. So a person was having that in his vest pocket. He just took out that watch, opened its cover, saw the time and frowned. So this trend of wearing the watches was also not modern. He wore a derby hat, a black 4-button suit with tiny lapels, and he had a big black handlebar mustache. Handlebar mustache, like you can compare it to your cycle handles, so that kind of mustache. Then I looked around and saw that everyone in the station was dressed like 1890 something. Okay, then Charlie was sure that it was like 1890 something. I never saw so many beards, sideburns, and fancy mustaches in my life. A woman walked in through the train gate. She wore a dress with leg of mutton sleeves and skirts to the top of her high button shoes. That was her attire. Back of her, out on the tracks, I caught a glimpse of a locomotive, a very small Courier and Ives locomotive with a funnel-shaped stack. Okay, and then I knew. Then he was sure that this locomotive, this brand Courier and Ives, this attire, these kind of hats, these kind of mustaches and beards, they all were not modern. They all were of some 1890 something. To make sure, I walked over to a newsboy and glanced at the stack of papers at his feet. It was the World. So he went to see the newspaper because through the newspaper he could see the date. The name of the newspaper was The World, and The World hasn't been published for years. The lead story said something about President Cleveland. I have found that front page since in the public library files, and it was printed June 11, 1894. So he saw the main story on the front page that was about Cleveland, and then he went to library when he came out of the third level afterwards. He went to library and confirmed that the date was June 11, 1894. So around this date he was there on the third level. Next is, so let's see what further happened. I turned toward the ticket windows, knowing that here on the third level at Grand Central, I could buy tickets that would take Louisa and me anywhere in the United States. We wanted to go. In the year 1894, and I wanted 2 tickets to Galesburg, Illinois. So he went forward and he just thought that here at Grand Central Station in the year 1894, he could go anywhere he wanted to. Okay, he could travel in any place at that time. So he wanted 2 tickets to Galesburg, Illinois. Have you ever been there? Charlie asked. It's a wonderful town still, with big old frame houses, huge lawns, and tremendous trees whose branches meet overhead and roof the streets. Okay, so the whole streets are covered, and these huge branches become like the roof of the streets. And in 1894, summer evenings were twice as long, and people sat out on their lawns. The men smoking cigars and talking quietly, the women waving palm leaf fans with the fireflies all around, in a peaceful world. So, at that time in 1894, Charlie just wants to say that everybody was united at that time and everybody enjoyed peaceful life. And what was missing in this modern world is definitely, most importantly, is the peace. To be back there with the First World War still 20 years off and World War II over 40 years in the future, I wanted 2 tickets for that. So he wants to live in a time where there was no war, where people had not experienced even the World War One. He just wanted to go to that peaceful area. The clerk figured the fare. He went to the ticket booth and he demanded 2 tickets. The clerk calculated, counted the fare. He glanced at my fancy headband, but he figured the fare. Of course, Charlie was looking very different from rest of the people because he was wearing something like 20th century and they all were wearing something like 1894. And I had enough for 2 coach tickets, one way. Okay, one way only for going. But when I counted out the money and looked up, the clerk was staring at me. He nodded at the bills. Nodded is the movement of the head. That aren't money, mister. That is not money, he said. And if you are trying to skin me means cheat me. You won't get very far. The currency was the modern one and that was not accepted in the past times, and for them it was like huge, at that time the currency was very different from the modern one. So the person who was selling tickets said, are you trying to cheat me? You will not get very far, means you'll be arrested. And he glanced at the cash drawer beside him. Of course, the money was old style bills, half again as big as the money we use nowadays. So that currency was bigger in size too and different looking. I turned away and got out fast. There is nothing nice about jail even in 1894. If he could be arrested in 1894 because he was not having their modern currency, then also it was not good. It was not worthy that he would go to past to spend his life into a jail. And he says that there is nothing about jail in any times. So he had to rush away from there. His visit to third level was not successful because he was not having the old currency. And that was that. I left the same way I came, I suppose. He's supposing, he's not sure. Next day, during lunch hour, I drew $300 out of the bank, nearly all we had. This was all they were having, the savings, and bought old style currency. That really worried my psychiatrist friend. You can buy old money at almost any coin dealers, but you have to pay a premium. My $300 bought less than 200 in old style bills, but I didn't care. Eggs were 13 cents a dozen in 1894. So he was not having any trouble that his modern currency 300 just came to be 200 in the old currency, but he knew that at that time the prices of everything were not so much risen, or you can say as compared to his time, that time was cheaper, so he could go well with his $200 as well. But I have never again found the corridor that leads to the third level at Grand Central Station. Although I have tried often enough, he just tried hard, but he did not find that corridor and he was not able to go to third level again. Louisa was pretty worried. Louisa, his wife, she was very worried when I told her all this and didn't want me to look for the third level anymore. Any normal person would say, stop doing this, because we know that this is not possible. And after a while I stopped. I went back to my stamps. Okay, for some time Charlie stopped and he just continued with his stamp collection. But now we are both looking. We are both means Charlie and Louisa. Every weekend, because now we have proof that the third level is still there. Something has happened. Let's see क्या हुआ that Charlie and Louisa both are now finding the third level. My friend Sam Werner disappeared. Nobody knew where. But I sort of suspected, doubted, because Sam is a city boy and I used to tell him about Galesburg. I went to school there and he always said he liked the sound of the place and that's where he is, all right, in 1894. What happened actually, he said that his friend Sam had got disappeared, then Charlie is having just a doubt that Sam also had reached at the third level. He thinks, okay, he doubts. Why does he doubt so? Because one night, fussing, searching with my stamp collection, I found, well, do you know what a first day cover is? We have discussed this. When a new stamp is issued, stamp collectors buy some and use, buy some means buy some stamp and use them to mail envelopes to themselves on the very first day of sale. And the postmark proves the date. So they are posting the stamps to their own address. The envelope is called a first day cover. They are never opened. You just put blank paper in the envelope. So you are sending yourself some mail. So what would you write for yourself? So it is just a blank paper inside. What important is just the stamp on the envelope with the postmark date. So that night, what happened, among my oldest first day covers, I found one that should not have been there. One first day cover that was different from others, that was not seen by Sam before. It was there. It was there because someone had mailed it to my grandfather at his home in Galesburg. We know that this collection is of grandfather. If something happens in past and some first day cover is added to grandmother's collection in 1894, definitely it would be added in future if the time machine is there and if all this can happen. So there was a first day cover, and that's what the address on the envelope said, and it had been there since July 1894. Okay, that was the postmark date. The postmark showed that, yet I didn't remember it at all. कभी देखा ही नहीं उसने ये फर्स्ट डे कवर. The stamp was a 6-cent dull brown with a picture of President Garfield. Naturally, when the envelope came to Granddad in the mail, it went right into his collection and stayed there. So it was his grandfather's envelope and it was there till I took it out and opened it. The paper inside was not blank. Again, a very big change. As I have told you, first day covers are sent to oneself, so there is nothing written in it, but this strange first day cover was having something written in it. There was a letter. The address was 941 Willard Street, Galesburg, Illinois, July 18, 1894, and it is addressed to Charlie. Okay, and it should be addressed to grandfather and it should be written to grandfather by somebody because Charlie was not there, but it is addressed to Charlie. I got to wishing that you were right, then I got to believing that you were right. So somebody who has written this, he said that he wished that Charlie was right, thinking third level, and now he believes that Charlie was right. And Charlie, it's true. I found the third level. I have been here 2 weeks, and right now, down the street at the delis, someone is playing a piano and they are all out on the front porch singing Seeing Nellie Home. This is a very popular song. And I'm invited over for a lemonade. Come on back, Charlie and Louisa. Keep looking till you find the third level. It's worth it. Believe me. It's very valuable. Believe me. Try and try. Okay, the note is signed Sam. So as Charlie has told us on the previous page that Sam has disappeared and he doubts that Sam has reached to the third level. And now this letter. So these two things somewhere are pointing that Charlie was thinking right. There was some third level, there was some corridor, and Sam had reached there. At the stamp and coin store I go to, I found out that Sam bought $800 worth of old style currency that ought to set him up in a nice little hay feed and grain business. He always said that's what he really wished he could do. And he certainly can't go back to his old business, not in Galesburg, Illinois in 1894. Okay, so if he had reached at the third level, he could not go with his business, that was psychiatrist, because at that time, the people were not in depression, the people were all okay, everything was peaceful. So the people never needed a psychiatrist. So his business could not work in that time. So he would have to do something else. So Charlie thinks that he always wanted to work, to have a business. So he had taken the old currency with him and he could clearly set up a business of little hay. Why Sam was my psychiatrist? Now, Charlie is regretting that why Sam was my psychiatrist. I have told him each and everything, and he has reached to the third level. And as we had already discussed, Beta, if we think about Sam's disappearance, we do not have any proof that he had reached to the third level. It was just a first day cover in Charlie's collection. And as far as Charlie is concerned, we know that he is a truly hugely imaginative person. So what you would write if you are asked a question, do you really think Sam had reached the third level? You have both the options. Yes, because you can say that there was a first day cover in Charlie's collection, or he had also exchanged his currency. But the right answer is no. Sam never reached at the third level. He was just disappeared. There is no proof. Sam had never given a proof. This is only Charlie who is again imagining things. In his imagination, Charlie must have written that first day, that letter, and put it into his collection. Okay, this all was thought by Charlie only. Sam never reached at the third level, or there was no third level at all. It was only Charlie's imagination. So in the next video, we'll be discussing the question and answers. Have a good day.